Hey everybody, just putting out a tweet, getting everybody ready for listener questions. So come on, hang out with us. We're getting ready to start here in just a second. So just
Pam, I don't think you can see it very clearly, but Elliot, my dragon popcorn, he's drinking the boathouse beer, like the duck beer.
That's funny. Yes, that was a good beer. I like the table drink though. This is my new thing.
The table
The table cocktail has to happen.
100%. This has become part of my life now.
Yeah, I mean it was a complete
it's
accident.
Just Steve and I, can we do that? Like if just Steve and I are going to happy hour, is it okay to get a cocktail for the table?
Yeah.
How bored did you get after we left?
Not.
I know, I was going to say probably not.
I actually did a ton of work. It's like we were there and I felt like I had to justify my being there, right? Do you know what I mean? But like Steve and I, there were a couple nights where we like walked away and we're like, oh my gosh, I worked so much. Like I didn't get up from the chair like the whole time. So anyways, no, it worked out really well.
I didn't see any breaking news out of Margaritaville. Anybody losing their life in the pool? So that was good.
People tried, but it didn't happen.
I can't believe people all survived not Cinco de Mayo. What was it?
It was Margarita Day.
Margarita Day.
National Margarita Day.
Can you imagine Cinco de Mayo? That'd be just dying to die there.
No. The kid who was getting dunked under was worrying me enough.
Dunk, dunk.
And we were at 5.
Steve and I missed you though when we were having our old fashions at Citrico's, Mike.
Oh yeah.
You posted one the other day that was. Did you make that one at home? The one?
No, that was at an Italian restaurant.
Oh yeah, that's right. She had the ravioli or whatever. Yeah, I saw the picture. Yeah, I was like,
goat cheese ravioli. Like that was really good.
Goaty.
It was very goat forward.
Goat forward, yeah. Like that salad. Now I want that salad.
Oh, the salad at Citrico's, so good.
So good.
Yeah, I was explaining the cherries to Pam about how Steve told me like, no, you gotta take that cherry and ram it down into the drink and like swoosh it around, and he's like, not eat it. I was like, I thought it was an olive. He's like, no, eat it. And I was like, it was good.
It was very good.
He's like, okay, now go buy them on Amazon.
Yes,
those cherries are so good.
I am going to get, once the weather gets a little bit warmer and you can sit on the deck, I'm going to buy like all the stuff to make simple syrup and all that. Cause I'm a fan of old fashions now.
They're a good drink for sure.
They are.
But you do have to spread it out though. I mean, you got to be an equal opportunity alcoholic. No, I'm just kidding.
That was good. Okay. It'd be good to listen to the ball game and drink, even though we don't have our radio guy, so he's not with us this year, so it's kind of a bummer, but we'll adjust. We took the Braves guy, so we'll see how he does. All right, here we go. Let's do questions. Anybody has a question, drop them in the chat. Hey Kurt, Roll Tide down in Alabama. Kurt sent me the Saban autograph football, by the way, Scott.
Oh, that's nice of Kurt to do.
I know he's friends with Coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where's the Saban signed Michigan State football? Oh, wait a second, he hates us. He betrayed us.
He didn't betray you. He said he just doesn't like the cold weather or the Big Ten. Just kidding, dude. Mizzou's ranked this week, 25th. You see that? We're good time to be ranked going into the tournament, and we're 4th ranked in the SEC tournament. Who'd have thought that?
Dude, there was a logjam in the Big Ten.
I saw that.
Michigan State didn't get to play a game because of the incident we had. So we had one less game. So we would have had 3rd probably by ourselves. But 2-8, they were all tied with the same record going into yesterday. It was kind of wild.
That's
Michigan
crazy.
State ended up 4th. So we get a double bye. We get a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. That's what I'm talking about.
Double bye. Yeah, we get a bye too. I can't believe it. I mean, we were so bad the last couple of years. Now we have a bye in the first round of the SEC tournament. That's nuts. We'll play till Friday. But I mean, it's Mizzou. They're going to break my heart, but I'm wearing my stuff all week just in case. And UIC, the women's Pages team, they play Thursday night at 8:30 against Valparaiso. And they better win. They were 7-22. Better beat them. And their uniforms are the ugliest uniforms ever. If you went to Valpo, I'm sorry. But they're brown and yellow or something. They're you got to get some better colors. So I hope to beat them down. Anyway, Oh, there you go. Len says go Sparty. Okay, let's get to business. Here we go. I gotta mute the Amazing Race here. That's a season with Mirna and Shmirna. That season cracks me up.
Mirna Shmirna. That's a weird name.
Yep. And Colin and the guy that was crazy. They came back and won it like 20 years later. He was nuts. So he got arrested during one of the seasons. Anyway, here we go. 2249. Welcome to episode 2249 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week already. We got lots of announcements here at the top of the show. First of all, I have to give a big announcement. Big shout out to my wife, Pam, because it's really confusing in my world, right? If I ever say the word Pam, there's always a qualifier behind it, right? Is it Pam Forrester? Is it my wife, Pam? You know, it's because and they have a lot in common. Seriously, if you know either one of the Pams, they're a lot alike. It's really crazy. But my wife, Pam, celebrating a milestone birthday yesterday on Tuesday. So a very happy birthday to my wife. Hope she had a great day with her students because she didn't take the day off. Because she had to take a day off for cheerleading. This is how it works. She had to take a day off on last Friday to go to Chicago for cheer. And then we somehow made the finals over the weekend and didn't get home till 1:30 in the morning on Sunday night / Monday morning. So she took a half day on Monday because she couldn't make it in right away. So yes, she didn't get to take her birthday off. But hope she's having a great week and happy birthday, Pam. Hopefully you had a wonderful birthday and love you. So there we go. And also we have another big announcement. We have another baby in the podcast family. So congratulations to Ricky. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But let me get the crew introduced and we can talk about, wow, Ricky's world is expanded and it's going to be a lot of fun. So joining us today, we have Scotty G. He's up in the mitten. Scott, happy Wednesday. What's up?
Happy Wednesday. Happy birthday to Pam R. You know, I love both Pams very much. Like Prosecco with Pams is something I'm really looking forward to when we get on the Be Our Guest Podcast Crew 6.0. But love Pam Rahman. Happy birthday to her. I hope she has a magical, whatever that number is, that milestone birthday is that she just had. I hope it was a great one.
It's 21. That's what we're gonna go with, right?
Forever.
29. And also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, happy Wednesday. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. Happy birthday to Pam. That's exciting. I think that we'll do some celebrating on the cruise for sure. Lots of things to celebrate, but yes. And I am back in my home base here of the Pennsylvania.
The Pennsylvania headquarters.
Yes, the Pennsylvania headquarters. Yes. I don't know what to say. Like the weather is, I need to complain a little bit because I really didn't get to complain a lot right through February. So yeah.
Let me just tell you, and this may be pushing your way, but right now as we're recording in the Be Our Guest Podcast studios, outside it is 73 and sunny in Missouri. Now, they're saying it's going to be cold the rest of the month. Like, that's how Missouri is. We get this one awesome day. It's like spring. I was like, I have on shorts. I'm like, this feels like Florida. Could spring be around the corner? Like the birds are literally singing. I'm not just saying this. I walked outside, the birds everywhere. Nope. They're like, we're just toying with your emotions, Mike. It's going to be nasty for the rest of the month of March. So you're getting one nice day and then you're going to have 3 weeks of terrible weather. So
it was sort of nice today, but yeah, since I've been back, we've already had, Steve and I went out to go for a walk and I just had on like the regular stuff like I was wearing. I walked out the door and I was like, nope. I turned back around. I had to put on more clothes, gloves, like something for my ears. I was like, where did I think I was? So anyway.
Thought you were Margaritaville or
I know, right?
Somewhere. So Pam, yes. Ricky had the baby. So share the news with the audience. I mean, because I guess we can say the name. I'm a guy, so I get super nervous about like what you can say, what you can't say. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but we're super excited for Ricky and Brian.
We are.
And baby Lucy.
I know. So Ricky had posted the other day, so I feel comfortable sharing this, that she was born on February 28th and she weighed 7 pounds, 7 ounces. So a nice, healthy baby. And her name is Lucy Brienne, which I thought was such a pretty name. And Ricky posted a really cute picture of her in pink with a big pink mini bow on her head. That's adorable. So love that. Such a cutie. I can't wait to meet her. So
That's right. But we will not hear her crying in the background of the podcast. We've already talked about. No, just kidding. She'll be back soon. And yeah, so we're very excited for them. Can't wait to meet Lucy. We're going to be spoiling her. That's what we're going to do here as podcasters. We're excited for that. And yeah, super excited. I mean, I'm super excited for all the experiences they're going to have, because the funniest thing is, like, us three right here, we're kind of in a different phase of parenting, right? I mean, our youngest, Pam, your youngest is, an adult now, off teaching.
Yes.
And, you're only, and, Scott and I, our youngest is moving through high school. So in a few years, I can't believe this, because I still feel like I'm 21, but like, we'll almost be empty nesters. Isn't that weird, Scott? We're too young for that. What?
Way too young for that. I mean, my daughter was driving me around. My daughter was driving me around all weekend. Like what?
Nuts.
It's so weird thinking her behind the wheel. But yeah, college applications are going to be coming soon.
Oh
it's just
gosh.
it's a wild how this phase of life happens. But very excited for Ricky and Brian and Lucy. They have a sweet family, and I'm looking forward to see them grow and progress, and all the fun memories they're going to make at Walt Disney World. Because I assume they're going to be a Disney family, and they'll be going there quite a bit with Lucy. We'll see, though, right?
Oh, you think? Oh, okay, whatever. That's a no-brainer. Okay, first question of the day. Let's get to, I believe Len had one here, and he says, "Go Sparty." By the way, it's March Madness right now because it's Wednesday, the playing games. So shout out to your favorite team, MIZ right here, Sparty for Len and for Scott. Pam, I don't know.
We got Pitt, baby.
I don't know if they're in the tournament or not. And UIC in the Valley Conference tonight. So we'll see. Okay, Len's got a question. My wife and I are planning on a trip to Disneyland for our 40th. Congratulations. Due to our diet, we usually book villas at the World. Is there anything available at the Land that will allow us to prepare most of our meals? We hope to stay in a resort hotel. Did you see the villas at the Disneyland Hotel last week? Scotty, I know you saw them because I
saw them, and I'm hoping to.
And I said, Scotty, did you see the Disneyland villas?
I'm hoping to book one of those later this year for a milestone birthday of my own. So, yes, I definitely saw those villas, Mike.
Pam, what would you say, though, for somebody that's looking for an accommodation where maybe you could prepare food at Disneyland? Because, again, you don't have the wide variety of choices like you do at Walt Disney World.
You don't. And I think one of the other things that's going to be challenging is that those on-site hotels are, especially the villa accommodations, are really challenging to come by. I hardly ever see them available for guests to buy into. And let's face it, even people who own points have problems getting into there. I mean, it's just really, really challenging. But here's a couple things. First of all, there are a lot of suites that are good neighbor hotels that you might want to look at that may have something that would better meet your needs in that space. I'm not 100% sure that you're going to find something that has a full kitchen like that, but if you're looking at sort of like there is a Residence Inn that would have a full kitchen. There's some other Hilton properties that do have full kitchens. So that's something to consider. And the good news about that is Disneyland in particular has good neighbor packages available, which have all the benefits of a Walt Disney Travel Company package. That means that there's only a $200 deposit. That means that the tickets are included. So you can make your park reservations right then when you put the $200 down and don't have to worry about buying tickets and hotels separately, the deposit for the hotel, the tickets being non-refundable. And let me just stress, Disney tickets, whether it's World or Land at this point, are non-refundable. Disney is not giving back money on those. They will possibly allow you to switch the date and pay an increase if that date price does increase, but they are not, any flexibility that was there during other times is not there any longer. And they state that when you buy them, the tickets are non-refundable. By doing a package, then you can take advantage of that flexibility. So reach out, have someone put together a package for you that includes tickets and accommodation options at some Good Neighbor hotels that do have kitchens, and we'll get you there.
That's right, Len. Email your favorite travel agent. I think I know who he is. All right. Jenna's got a question here. She is tuned in live on YouTube, and she will be sailing with her awesome family with us on the Be Our Guest Podcast cruise in July, which is coming up soon. Speaking of alcohol, do you guys, which we were in the pre-show, we're talking about old fashions, by the way. Speaking of alcohol, do you all drink a margarita after a marathon? Like, legit question. I assume that wouldn't be healthy. I'm doing my first next year and it sounds fun, so I need to know. We never said we are healthy. We run marathons, but there's no correlation between running a marathon and being healthy in my world. I'll be honest, almost every marathon I've ever finished is with a margarita in my hand. I don't wait till I'm finished. I wait till about mile 26, and the last 0.2 is usually with a margarita in my body. Scott, same thing.
Yeah, I agree. I finished every marathon I finished with a margarita in my hand. This last one, I actually had a beer at mile 17 because it was just one of those days. So definitely not healthy. And I don't if you're a serious runner, I definitely don't recommend the beer at mile 17 either. I mean, you still got 9 miles to go, but it's just fun. Like, especially at Walt Disney World, it's just a fun race, right? You're not trying to set a PR or have like a crazy good time. I'm trying to have a crazy good time and fun. That's what I'm trying to do. So, you get to Mexico late in the race. I mean, it's just a short walk away to the finish line. Have yourself a margarita, enjoy it, sip it, chug it, whatever you want to do. I've done both. I've actually slammed a margarita like on the spot after like
you did. That was one of the most epic moves Epcot has ever seen.
Yeah, I broke a glass or a cup. I didn't mean to. I was just in the moment. I just chugged it and I slammed it down. I thought it was gonna bounce, but it didn't. It just shattered instead.
Your wife yelled at you hard.
but just have fun with it. But just know this. Depending on like how you're doing your nutrition throughout the race and all that margarita is going to get to you quick when you've done 26 miles. I'll never forget my first marathon after it. Like, I was halfway through and like, I didn't know where I was. I was so like buzzed and out there because I'm on a high from finishing the race and all that. So just be warned that it might affect you a little bit more than you would normally think it would.
Yeah, same. I mean, because I usually, I don't drink. I really don't. I mean, I say that I don't. I'll have a margarita Mexican restaurant. That's about it. And I've had a couple of fashions with you, Scott, but that's it. I don't drink beer. I don't drink anything. And I got the margarita at that stand there outside of Mexico, right? And I stopped to see my family and Pam and, Steve and Ricky and all them. They were hanging out by Spaceship Earth. Man, I struggled to get, but all you got to do is get out to the parking lot. You just got to go a couple turns. And I was like, woohoo.
Yeah,
you're so dehydrated.
It can happen.
You haven't eaten. I mean, you've burned like 5,000. You probably burned 4,000 calories. You're dehydrated. Doesn't take much. I'm just saying. Yeah, you're.
But go do it though. It's a lot of fun. Don't worry about unless if you don't think it's healthy enough for you. Like, but for me, it's definitely fine. I can finish the race. I know like a margarita isn't going to impact my health really, but but yeah, just do it. Just have fun with it.
All right, Alfred's in the chat and he's asking if the new DVC villas at Disneyland Hotel are a brand new tower, just part of the hotel. Yeah, it's a brand new tower because they were building it while we were out there last summer, and it's kind of completes the whole square thing. It's very beautiful looking, and it's very cool. That's what we got. All right, to the inbox. William's got a question. BOGP crew, thanks for all you do. We're booked June 21st to July 1st at the Grand Floridian in an outer building garden view room. We know they're refurbishing a bit and have a few questions about the construction. The walking path to the Magic Kingdom is closed until late spring. Is it possible it reopens in time for our trip? How about the one to the Polynesian? I'd love to hit Trader Sam's at some point. What are the chances we get one of those supercalifragilisticexpialidocious refurbed Mary Poppins rooms? Will the refurb impact dining or transportation options at the resort? Also, one day during our trip, my wife and son will be taking a day to go to Universal and do all the Harry Potter things. Any tips for which day we should plan this and a touring plan on how to do it all in a day? I think it'll just be the Harry Potter stuff they're looking to do. One last question. The Potter Day will leave my 4-year-old daughter and I with a free day to do anything in the world we want to do. What suggestions do you have for a daddy-daughter day at Walt Disney World that are maybe off the beaten path? I'd want to make it a day to remember. It's pulling at my heartstrings just typing this out, but also don't want my wife and son to feel like they missed out on something. Thanks for all your help. Bill, he's up in Del Mar, New York. First of all, your wife and son are going to have fun with Harry Potter stuff. So don't feel bad about having a daddy-daughter day. I mean, I'm a girl dad, so Scott, you just got to take these days when they come, because eventually they're going to be 15. They're going to be like, too cool for school. So just take advantage. One of the coolest things we did, and I never thought I would say this, and I don't think it's back though, but it could be soon. Who knows though? You're going in late June. I wish this would come back. We did that at high tea. I can't believe I'm saying this. That's one of the most fun things I have ever done at Walt Disney World, but I think it's because all of us did it together. Scott's family, Pam's family, and all the girls. We did this hot tea, and it wasn't just because Scott spilled the tea in his lap. But it was so fun. But if you search out those things, so one thing we could talk, I would say, and Scott wanted to do this hard over Princess Weekend. We tried and tried and tried. We didn't get in. One of our guests talked about this about 6 weeks ago on a Monday show. It was mosaic making at Coronado Springs at the top of the tower, up at the how you said Dahlia Lounge, or how you said
Dahlia, yeah,
Dahlia Lounge, where you can like do this craft and make this mosaic out of broken glass and stuff. I mean, that would be something I think that would be fun, because you could sit there and make a project and talk with your daughter and like make a tangible memory to go home. It's really off the beaten path. It's in the app. You can search for it.
But make sure you book it right 60 days, because I tried, man, and I could not get in.
We couldn't get in, but I mean, that's something you might not even know is available. It's at Coronado Springs. It's only 2 days a week. I think it's like on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I think it was something like that. It's just 2 days a week. So it's very limited availability, but that's something off the beaten path. But that's one of those questions. Scott, what about something else for like daddy-daughter day? Then we could talk about the refurbished questions.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So I know another thing I looked at doing, Mike, in addition to what you just said, was something that you can do at the Port Orleans resorts. Now, I know a lot of couples might think this is like a romantic thing for them to do together, but I think it'd be a fun thing to do with daddy-daughter. Like, I thought it was going to be like the most ridiculous expensive thing to do, but it's really like not that bad. It's pretty affordable in my opinion. I think it was like $50 for like 25 minutes or something, which I thought would be kind of fun to do. You know, you do a little ride around the resort. But another thing I thought of, Mike, is bowling. Splitsville is a fun thing to do. Like, I think that at her age, what did she say? Like 4 years old? Like, you bowl at the bumper. She could just kind of roll it there. You just kind of have some fun playing some bowling. I think that could be something you could do with a young one too.
That's a good tip. Pam, anything else? And then maybe address his concerns about the construction at the Grand, because we were just there and they kind of talked to us about it.
Yeah, I think that there's, I think that always when you're splitting up as a family, right, you don't want the other people to feel like they're missing something. But I think it's also good to have those, those experiences. Everyone's sort of getting to do something. And I would always look at the photo pass thing, no matter what you're doing. I feel like if you go into a park, make sure you get some photo pass photos to sort of mark the occasion. If you're not going into a park, you can always go over to Disney Springs and get some photos down there if you want to. So that's pictures are the best memories for sure, for that. And the Grand construction. So I, never ever want to try and predict what Disney is doing. So I will not offer a prediction on whether or not it will be done by the time that your stay comes. The best you can do in terms of the room is just to put a request in for a renovated room if you would like that. There's no guarantees, of course, but it's better to have your request noted on there to see if you can. And the construction at this point is not really impacting the restaurants and other things. As you see, Narcoossee's is about to reopen here very soon. The only restaurants that aren't open are the ones that have not reopened, and that's 1900 Park Fair, and of course the Garden View Tea, and we haven't heard anything about those. But the other restaurants are open and available, so you'll be able to do that. Also, both pools have been open throughout that. It's not really impacting the pool thing. You may hear some construction noise when you're outdoor, but Disney's pretty aware of that, and they have sort of hours that they allow louder construction to go on, and that. So I think you're going to be fine. I think that you'll have a great time. The Grand's a great hotel. They can announce at any time if they're going to sort of expand the scope of their construction. When we were there, we were sort of looking at the lobby, wondering if that was something that was going to get redone too. I don't know. They haven't, really said all that, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
All right. Next question is from Betsy, tuned in live on Facebook. Thanks for being here. Any plans sorry, it covers it up there. Any plans for the weekend prior to or after the cruise for a meetup? There is an after hours at Typhoon Lagoon on Saturdays this summer. It looks like a great option. Actually, Scott and I were just talking about this. We're talking about doing one of those events while we're down there for the cruise. So that might be something we definitely put together. And we'll start, once we make these final payments for the cruise, that's when we start really putting together some of these like meetup events. Because then what we do is we link everybody up at final payment. We try to get the dining, everybody like synced up and all that stuff. Because we got to wait till everything's kind of finalized there. We start working with the cruise line, and then we'll start putting together meets for Walt Disney World, both before and after. So everybody can kind of meet each other before we get on the ship, and then everybody can kind of say goodbye. But those H2O Glow nights and those Typhoon Lagoon night events, Scott, you were talking about how much you've done them, how much they're a lot of fun.
They're like some of my favorite things to do because I just love, so someone that's very fair skinned like me, like I like water parks or night swimming, at night. The water parks at night. So like I've done those and they're just a blast. Like there's something about like Typhoon Lagoon at night. Like it just has this energy that is so cool. And then you throw like a DJ out there and like this party atmosphere is just one of the coolest events. So I don't know. I'm going to be there both Saturdays before and after the cruise. So I don't know which one I'm going to do. Mike, we can chat about that. Pam, we can chat about if we want to sync up and try to do one of those, but I'm definitely am. And Mike, not to go off too bit of here, but did you want to promote the Facebook page too for other people to kind of like get to know each other? Because that could be a good idea for plans for the cruise. So
you created the Facebook group for the podcast cruisers that are sailing with us July 3rd to the 7th on the Disney Wish, and we got quite a group going. And we said we recorded your show, which came out on Monday, which has been downloaded excessively. And this thing it went like wildfire. By the way, Scott, I didn't tell you that. I want you to get a big head, but it's really going gangbusters. But here's the thing. First thing we said was, okay, we're going to talk about the Facebook group right at the top of the show. And we never mentioned it on the podcast. I was laying in bed that night, like, we didn't say it about Facebook. I do that every time. So all you got to do is go on Facebook and search Be Our Guest Podcast Cruise 6. And
6.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Number 6.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's there. We've posted some videos, some pictures, and we'll, keep things because we have a Discord, but I think a lot more people are on Facebook, and it's just a little bit easier to have it kind of in your pocket there at all times. So
yeah,
if you're sailing with us, come on over and meet everybody so we can all be in the same place. But Scott, thanks for putting that together, and thanks for mentioning it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Christy's got a question here. Says, hey, Mike, Pam, and Scott, my question is about Run Disney registration. Once you get into the registration site, can you put more than one race in your cart at once? Like say the 10K and the half marathon. Thanks for bringing us Disney fans so much joy. That's nice. We try. So Scott, I only sign up myself because nobody else in my family runs. You do multiple. So how does that tend to work when you're doing like you and Emily?
Yeah, it depends on how much of a gambler you want to be. So with Run Disney registration, everyone's on there. They're trying to get it done. They're right there, right as the second it opens. So yeah, you can choose your race, right? Say like, I want to do the Princess, Fairy Tale Challenge. All right, boom, I got that in there. And that's just a 10K and a half, right? So you put all your information, you put your credit card in, and then it says, do you want to add more registrations? And then you're like, oh yeah, I want to do the 5K. You can go ahead and do that. But you're taking a chance at perhaps the other race selling out without completing that process. So it depends on how risky you want to get. I like to submit that because I've been in the middle of this before, and then boom, the registration's gone and I'm out of luck. So I would just, get the race you want, get it submitted, and then move on to the next one if there's one that you really want to do. Otherwise, just try to put them all in your cart. It's kind of easier to put them all in your cart, honestly, but I wish there was a way Disney would let you lock that in because it could go away if you take too long.
Oh man, it is when you say run Disney registration, I just get a cold chill.
It's stressful.
It is.
That's why I'm taking the year off from it. I can't.
I'm in for Disneyland. I can't wait. But I only got the half. I didn't get the challenge.
Yeah, because it's so stressful. I got shut out from Disneyland, so I'm protesting it now.
I know. I got you. I get it. It's frustrating. All right, Jessica's got a question. Cruise question: does Lumiere's on the Wish have a dessert tasting? And if you are not platinum, can you get a reservation once you're on board? Pam, what about that?
So I think maybe you mean Enchanté.
It says Lumiere's, but maybe she means that.
Yeah, I don't think there isn't a Lumiere's.
Oh, maybe she means Enchanté.
Okay, that's what I'm like. I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, I've been on the ship a few times.
I'm just reading what's on the screen. I don't know.
I'm like, did I miss Lumiere?
I haven't been on the Wish yet. I'm on the other floor.
Pam, it's the speakeasy that's on the ship.
Yes, right. Yes.
I'm looking for Lumiere.
Yes.
I'm looking for a candle.
Yeah, so
it's Enchanté. Yeah.
There usually is a dessert tasting available at one of the formal restaurants. The issue is whether you're platinum or not, if you're not able to reserve it beforehand, and I would absolutely try to reserve it beforehand, you can always check when you get on board. They do hold back a certain number of reservations that are available. So make sure that you check there to see if it is available. Hopefully it will be. But yeah, there's lots of, I think that eating at the main dining restaurants absolutely has some charm in terms of, especially the Wish, because you're going to see a show at both the Marvel restaurant and the Frozen restaurant. So that's something that you want to think of too, but there's always the availability to check when you get on board to see if any of the adult dining is available for you.
Jessica added that she was looking for Enchanté, but
okay, good.
She's making me look bad. She knows I'm like Ron Burgundy. I'll read anything on the teleprompter, and that can get me in all kinds of trouble. So yeah, be careful what you put in the comments. You can get me in big trouble here. So
I know, Jessica, you totally had me rethinking the cruises that I've been on the Wish. I'm like, wait, Lumiere's, where is it? I literally was sitting here thinking about it. So
put it on the screen. Mike will read it word for word without thinking, because there's too much going on. There's all these flashy lights and meters and everything, and I'm not even using the soundboard today. So anyway, Brian's got a question here live on Facebook. Says staying at Caribbean Beach in July. So am I, or maybe. We have a preferred room. Do all preferred rooms have the fifth sleeper, or do I need to request that at check-in? Actually, I just checked. The technically booked preferred rooms do not have a fifth sleeper. The fifth sleeper rooms are the standard view and the water pool view rooms.
And it's a category.
It's a category, right? So if you want to have the fifth, right? So if you want to have the fifth sleeper, if you're in a preferred, you're probably going to want to book a water/pool view fifth sleeper room rather than the preferred. That'll probably get you closest to what you're looking for. Or you can just go to standard view. But if you really want that fifth sleeper, you got to book that.
It does. And we get that question a lot, actually. The fifth sleeper rooms are actually a room category. So it's not something that if you're booked in a standard room at Port Orleans and at Caribbean Beach and just hoping to get a fifth sleeper or hoping to request one, your chances probably aren't that great for it, because there is an additional charge for that room. It's a different room type. It would be like going from at any other resort. If you're going from a standard view room to a water view room, it would really be based on, the cast member you're talking with at check-in and what's actually available and other things like that. So if that's the type of room that you feel like you really need, then you're going to need to book that. The other thing that happens is if you're booking, I'm guessing since you're asking about it, you probably booked a room with 4 people, because if you do book a room with 5 people, they will put you in a room that accommodates 5 people. Right. Of course, there is another charge for that, though. It is because it's a different room category.
Right. So, and remember, kids 2 and under don't count against the room count.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
A little one. Okay. Kristen's got a question. Actually, she had a question. She was live with us and she sent an email. So I'm giving her that. She's all about Run Disney. So here, because I like this question, because Scott, we had this discussion again just the other day. Question 1, we're wondering about how long to plan for picking up our race bibs. We want to go to the park that day and we're picking up bibs. We'll probably visit Hollywood Studios or Epcot on the day we pick up our bibs. Question number 2, does taking an Uber save any time for picking up race bibs? Okay, first of all, Scott, what's our idea?
So, and it kind of this kind of depends on what day you're going to the expo, if you're doing that virtual queue thing too. But my rule now for going to a race expo is a minimum of 2 hours,
At least.
at least 2 hours, because if you're doing the virtual queue, like that line is unknown what it's going to be. Like if they call you up, you could still wait an hour.
We've done it twice because they've only done it twice. They've done it Marathon, they've done it Princess now, and I thought Princess would be a lot better because
I think they did it at Wine and Dine too, but neither one of us were there for that.
They did. But still, we waited in line an hour, even at Princess. That's not even the big race. That's a small one.
And then so there's 3 places you have to go to too. So then you got to go and get your actual bib, where they give you your clips and all that, your bib number, and then they send you off to another location to get your shirts, and that's like where the main expo is, and the shirts are in the very back of that building.
So you gotta go
sometimes
Runners Mall.
Sometimes you have to wait in a very long line to even get into there. So it's a commitment of 2 hours at least, is what I would say. Which is kind of frustrating to me because I just want my bibs. Like I just want my stuff and get out. So
what's the idea that we had the $1 million idea we have for Disney that we've said 100 times?
I've said this for years.
Why are they not doing this?
If you're an on-site resort guest, there should be an option to have your packet and bib, everything and shirts delivered to your room. I will pay $50 for this. I don't care, or I don't know what the right dollar amount is, but time is very valuable. I hear Pam say that all the time. Time is valuable on a vacation, and I'd rather spend that 2 hours at Citrico's instead of Why Roll the Sports at the expo. So,
I think $50 would be
fair. I would sign up. I would do it. Yeah, and they don't have to be at your room. They could even just deliver them to the check-in desk at your hotel.
And you know what?
Swing by and grab it.
And if I realized I forgot my nutrition or my pair of sunglasses broke or whatever, I could still go to the expo and see those vendors. That doesn't prevent me from going to Why Roll the Sports to see what they have all going on. I could still go, but at least I'll just have my bibs and my shirts in my room and not have to stress about it. It's so easy to do. I don't know why they don't do it.
I know.
I'm sure there's some kind of contract thing with
the vendors.
The vendors.
Got to be the vendors because they gotta have the traffic flow through the table.
Yeah, they have to commit to you're gonna see 10,000 people go through these areas or whatever.
10,000 people are each going to spend at least 90 minutes in this area.
Yeah, I mean that's a good sell, right? I kind of want to put a Magic for Less.
Right? I know, right? Yes.
The next race expo, you're going to see Pam.
Do gorilla stuff. Roll in with a great big poster.
That's what we're doing.
Make sure you bring all the Lombardi trophies too. Okay.
100%.
Yes.
We'll bring it all. It'll be a rolling cart.
Even the one that got broken in Indianapolis. We'll bring that one. The battle. Okay, Christy's got a question. She says, before March 16th, if possible. So we're going to make this happen. Hey, Mike, Pam, Ricky, and Scott. I know I'm cutting it close here with this question. My 60-day window is approaching quickly. March 16th, right in the middle of spring break. Lovely. So she's got to be a teacher. And I'm trying to determine my strategy. At least you're not at school. Daughter is 4 and very princess obsessed. We want to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique with her and then a princess meal the same day while she's all dialed up. Yeah, absolutely. Would you attempt to book the boutique first or secure the meal first? I don't know how fast the experience books up, but I'm worried I'll miss out on one while I'm booking the other. Thanks so much, Christy. Christy, I got 3 letters for you. B first. It's crazy. Go first. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique first. Absolutely. Good, because you got to remember, how many chairs are there in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique? Because Disney Springs isn't open. It's only the castle right now. Am I right? That's right? I'm pretty sure.
I thought the Springs was open, but
is it not? I think either way, even if you count both, you can find princess meals because you can do Akershus, and now the princesses are back at Cinderella Roll table. So you have more. You just got to look at how many seats are available for each experience at each time slot. It's going to be way less for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. So you're going, that's higher competition for higher demand for less availability. So definitely go for the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique first and then go for the meal second. Absolutely. And make a day of it and make sure you have memory maker. You're going to get all those pictures. And the thing is, you got to tell your kid ahead of time, she is not allowed to swim that day. Probably the next day. We didn't even let Mallory swim the next day.
No
I spent
face
so much
painting
money on
either
that
is
hair.
allowed.
No face painting. I spent so much money at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. She was not allowed to have any fun for like 48 hours. It was just all about looking cute and getting all kinds of pictures. It was insanity. That hair didn't move for like a week. It was crazy. But it was fun. She did it twice. I can't believe
she does cheer now too. I'm sure her hair doesn't move for a week after cheer competition.
That's true. But yeah, we're walking out of the hotel lobby last night we were taking Paige to get Portillo's, and we had it twice. We had it for lunch Saturday and Sunday, but Paige came out to watch and she hadn't had anything to eat. So we're like, Paige, you got to get a good meal. You never eat. We're going to take you to Portillo's. And I just want to go get another hot dog. So we walk out of the lobby and like these big teams are just kind of hanging out because, it's like a big convention center. So, they've gone and they're going to go later. So just all hanging out. I am not kidding, guys. There was a haze in that lobby. It was hairspray. I walked through there. I could not breathe. I almost had an asthma attack. And I haven't had an asthma attack probably in 20 years. I was like, I mean, all the high hair and all the hairspray. I mean, they probably put a hole in the ozone layer, just boom, right over Schaumburg, Illinois. It was ridiculous.
And the Disney Springs location is closed. It's so like, I think the last 3 years have made me question everything I think I once knew.
I know. I feel the same way. All right. Sarah's got a question. She's down in South Carolina. Hey, Mike and BOGP crew. Still loving listening to the show on my runs and hearing all about your Disney trips and Run Disney events. My extended family and I are headed down in June for a week, and we're doing a few park days. I've got a couple of questions for you. I'm really looking forward to the Epcot after hours event the adults are doing on one of the days. My parents are staying behind with the grandkids so we can take advantage of a low crowd late night. Any ideas on what to expect as far as what may be open in the World Showcase? Will the rides be open or will there be quick service options as well? Another day, we're headed to the Magic Kingdom with 3 kids under 5. We're staying off site, so we decided to book an all-star movies room to have a midday break option with a pool and a place to nap. I like that idea. It also helps to have the extra 30 minutes in the morning since we're early risers anyway. Would it make more sense for us to park at the TTC that morning, or should we park at the hotel and ride the bus over? We plan to stay until park close, so not sure which would be the best with heavy crowds at park closing. Thanks for all the Disney magic you share. Also, I enjoy the sports talk you guys throw in there too. Sarah from South Carolina. Love it. Down SEC country. Okay. So first of all, after hours events at Epcot, World Showcase. Scotty G, what's it look like? You been for one of the after hours at Epcot or?
Well, I think she's talking about the new ones because they haven't done these yet. They've done the deluxe. They've done the deluxe after hours.
Deluxe. Yeah.
But these are brand new. So I can't 100% say, like, I would assume that, like, Ratatouille will be open and, Frozen Ever After will be open. I'm not sure, like, what all will be happening in the pavilions and, like, food. Like, it's just hard to know, Mike, because we haven't really had one of these yet. But, like, when I compare it to, like, other ones that I've done, like, at the Magic Kingdom, like, there'll be stands with, like, ice cream bars and things like that out that are available that are included in the price. But unfortunately, it's really hard for me to know what they're going to be offering in World Showcase during that. I'm excited to find out, though, because they look really cool.
But they tend to have not all the quick service options open. So I'm glad she's thinking that way. Because
it's partial.
Because like if you go to a hard ticket event, say like the Halloween party or the Christmas party, I mean, I've been like caught off guard because like Columbia Harbor House won't be open at the Magic Kingdom or something. You think, I'm going to go to Lobster Roll. Oh, not open. You end up with like a Cosmic Rays, like Pecos Bills kind of situation.
It's usually limited. It's usually limited, and like you'll know ahead of time too, right? There'll be like there's usually like a times guide or some type of map for these events that will kind of give you an idea of what's closing early or what kind of hours they're going to be. So definitely like look at that and try to start planning what your night's going to be. If you're not doing the first one, I would just recommend trying to like Google it, look around and try to find like a review on it because those will be in sync with how the rest of the events are going to be.
What do you think, Pam? Any other advice for that?
Yeah, I think that if you aren't doing the first one, definitely look for the guide. I think TTC versus riding the bus is going to be hard to determine. Like, I think it's 6 on one, half a dozen on the other. I honestly do. The thing to know is that you may not be walking out at the same time everybody else is. So that will be in your favor either way. It tends to, it's not like fireworks and the events end, right? That's not how it is. You don't sort of have that closing piece. So that's something to consider. The thing about the Magic Kingdom that makes it so unique in terms of transportation is if you park at the TTC, you still have to get from the Magic Kingdom over either via monorail or ferry. They don't let you swim or do anything like that. You can't go on your own accord. I guess you could. You could walk the whole way. Well, yeah. That would be.
You could now. You couldn't previously. I mean, if you really want to get
that would not be the best thing, especially at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, whenever you're doing it, right?
That is not romantic.
Not romantic. And if you are riding your resort transportation back, there won't be quite as much transportation operating in the evenings because there aren't as many people there. So I'm really not sure which way I would lean. I don't know. Which way would you guys lean in that?
So my wife absolutely cannot stand the TTC. So I've learned every time I suggest like, hey, let's drive there. And she questions me. I'm like, trust me, Elizabeth, it won't be that bad. And then an hour and a half later, we're still not to the Magic Kingdom yet. So I've learned that I just need a bus. I have to suck it up and take the bus. And the bus can be fun sometimes, depending on how crowded it is. So if you stay like really late and the crowds clear out, you do a late night bus, like it's kind of romantic, right? I know you'll have kids with you, so maybe you're not really looking. I would do bus. I think I've learned my lesson that you got to do the bus.
See, I'm always bus. I'm always bus in these situations, except for this one, because they're only getting the room for like the day. They're getting the room just to have like a crash pad, right? For a pool and a place to nap. So I'm assuming that at the end of the day, they're staying off site. So the room is not, they're not going to have access to the room at the end of the night. They're just going back to their car, right? So at least if say you leave this after hours event and you walk out of the Magic Kingdom and you jump on a ferry or a monorail to the TTC, at least you're making progress towards your car. You get dropped off at the TTC and you get on a tram. You're probably going to be in your car in 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't know though, because there might be more traffic at the TTC than if you get at the All-Star. I would probably, dude. Yeah, you're right. It's 6. It's either way. It is.
It's so hard.
It's not gonna say. Yeah, I could see it either way because TTC. I'm gonna go just slightly because I think your car's a little closer and you're just maybe not going as far out like by Animal Kingdom to your hotel. But either way is totally fine. I just feel like it's gonna feel like you're losing momentum getting on the bus to the All-Stars to get your car to go back to your offsite hotel. But it's going to seem long.
Are they staying at All-Stars if they're taking like a midday break? Like, are they going to go back to the All-Star Resort?
I don't think they're staying there that night, though. Gotcha. I think they're just getting the room for like that day to go there nap. And that's what she said. I deleted the email, but I think they're just like using it for the one day. So I assume they'll be checked out at that point. I don't think they're going to have luggage. I think they're just parking the car there.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. Yeah, let us know though.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, it sounds like fun. I mean, you're going to be the Magic Kingdom with like the 3 young ones. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you have a wonderful time.
I don't think there's a wrong answer for this. You know what I mean? They could like a butterfly flaps its wings and
don't stress out about it.
And this could all change. So.
And like Michelle says, grab a minivan. You could easily walk to the Contemporary, or you could get a minivan from the Magic Kingdom right there at the first. You just order it up through the Lyft app. Sure. Bam! I mean, that's super efficient. You don't have to wait in the line. Boom. Back to your car. The All-Stars. Okay, last question of the day is from listener Jean, and she's one of my great guests over the Magic for Less. Just want to say I appreciate her very much being a supporter of our podcast and the travel agency. She says, "Hey, Mike and crew, just love your podcast and all the fun and info you share. I listen while I exercise in the morning. A great way to start the day. Well, hope you're listening today while you exercise. Appreciate that. That's what I do every morning as well. My husband and I will be at Walt Disney World at the end of April. Thanks for booking that, Mike. And I have several questions. One, you've come to the right place for this question. I've never been to Trader Sam's, and I understand it works on a wait list. I see it doesn't open until 3 p.m. I assume you have to go in person to get on the wait list. How soon can you go? Any tips? And her second question, she wants to, is about Genie Plus. Never used it before, and I've read about stacking rides. Can you be in one park and stack rides for another park you plan to go to with park hopping? Thanks so much, Gene. Okay, first question about Trader Sam's. Scotty, tell her about Trader Sam's. How can she get on the wait list and get in efficiently?
Yes, so you'd have to be there well before 3 o'clock before they open, because a line will form to get into Trader Sam's, a very popular destination. And I mean, I'll throw this out there, Pam. I'd love you to chime in. I say like get there like 45 to an hour early, right? If you want to get a seat inside. So maybe like somewhere between 2 and 2:15. Does that sound about right to you, Pam?
You see people starting to wait early, and I think
It's
it really
crazy.
depends on the day. Like you
Yeah.
could have a day when people have been out there for at least an hour, and you could have a day where you're one of the few that are waiting. So again, I don't know that there's any rhyme or reason to it. I think it just depends on how bad people want to get into Trader Sam's, right? For that. The other alternative is you could try showing up like an hour or two maybe after it opened or closer to closing time, and I think there would be less waiting at one of those, at those times. I hesitate to even suggest the hour after, because that could explode in your face too. So if it's important to you, I would absolutely get there before and just make it happen.
So at Disneyland, you can actually like book the 60 days as an ADR. Can you imagine if they did that at Walt Disney World? That would be that would be the hottest item to go first, right? On the ADR list.
It would be one of them for sure.
I wish they kind of had it though.
Yeah, no, seriously. Well, but I mean, the thing is, again, this is like the virtual queue argument, right? If you want to be in Trader Sam's and you're willing to stand there at noon, at least you are assured that you're going to get in Trader Sam's, and you're going to get in there at opening, probably.
Yep, you're right.
But you're sacrificing 3 hours up front, but you're self-determining how your day is going to go.
Truth.
The virtual queue is like throwing, it's like a blind dart. I hate that about that.
It's a lottery.
It drives me nuts. We have that argument. Like, if you want to stand there, waste your whole morning waiting, like for the virtual, to be the first to get in the merchandise, it's not wasting it because you're going to be in and out. Like, you're gonna be the first person. Like, you're sacrificing up front to save time the rest of the day.
I kind of want to be that guy though at noon or like 11 a.m. waiting at Trader Sam's.
Right.
Like, just see all the people walking by like, man, look at that guy.
Spend your whole day at waiting for Trader Sam's.
I'm getting that dude an a shirt. Or a Nautilus shirt. Okay. Question about stacking the Genie Plus experiences, Pam. Just walk her through that. How's that work? Because she's got park hopping.
You will be able to, but you would have to get experiences that happen after 2 o'clock. And there have been a few tweaks to some of the Genie Plus systems in terms of that. So just keep that in mind, like that things are always changing with Genie Plus, and I'm sure they will continue to tweak those as it goes on. So.
All righty. Well, that's going to do it for our listener questions today. Thanks for all the great submissions. And you can always join us on Mondays, usually around 5:30 Eastern. We're on Facebook and YouTube, and be a part of the show right here. Your questions kind of go to the top. If you're joining us live, you can just chime in with the comments, and we add those to the show as we go. And you can also email your questions to mike@beourguestpodcast.com. Just put listener question in the header, and we'll get that to right in the queue right away. Don't forget, our podcasts are always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next amazing Disney adventure, whether it's out to the West Coast to Disneyland, down to Florida to Walt Disney World, out to sea with Disney Cruise Line, or anywhere around the world with Adventures by Disney. We can help you have an amazing time and make those memories with your family, or hey, just go solo and make the memories with yourself. That's what it's all about, is have some great times and get out there and see the world and have some fun. We want to make sure that you can do that. And we always get you the lowest price possible. And we throw in little goodies like we have world famous laundry bags. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but I'm telling you what, I was at a cheer competition and it got it got kudos, this laundry bag. It's awesome. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it is. And then we also give Disney gift cards, all kinds of little stuff. So I'm just telling you, swing, it costs you nothing extra. So just swing by the website, themagicforless.com, fill out your quote form while you're there. It's no obligation. Just put in the information you have. We'll get you some pricing, some availability. We'll build that relationship. We'll go from there. No obligation. We'll see what's out there for you. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. So please use it as often as you can. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. You make all these shows possible. Couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get that bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you this week. Come on over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give Scott a follow on social media. He's at Epscott, EPSCOT. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Look for us on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, this Sunday night, I think we're clear of cheer. Think I'm going to be in town. We're going to have a live call-in show. I miss this. I love talking with you guys, taking your comments, your questions, talking Disney with you. So join us live on Facebook and YouTube at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, and we'll have the BOGP open line, or like we like to call it, you, me, and Scotty G. So we'll have fun. All right, we're going to be back again on Friday, and what we're going to talk about strategies to get the most out of Walt Disney World in those times when you arrive, but your hotel room's not ready. You don't want to waste that first day waiting for your hotel room to get ready, till you get that magical text. Or even better, when you get that text that says, hey, guess what? Your room still isn't ready. Why do they send that text? That's the biggest tease in the world. I hate that text. That's the dumbest thing ever. I got all excited. No, I know my room's not ready, because if I don't get a text, it's not. Like, you don't have to tell, you have to reaffirm that. We're going to have to talk with Disney about that text. Anyway, we're also going to talk about when you get booted out of your room, and that tick, 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 knock on your door. Sir, are you leaving now? Well, I'm trying to hold on for the last 5 minutes because, okay, I got to go. And then, your flight's at 7 o'clock at night. How do you maximize that time when I call your Disney homeless there for the last, 5-6 hours before you got to head off to MCO? We'll talk about some stuff to do there to still have a good time, because really, you keep having fun. So you got to get on the airplane. So we'll talk about those strategies and see what you have to say about that as well on Friday. So until we get back together again, you guys have an awesome Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Yeah, I hate that text.
I hate it.
I hate when you get it multiple times.
Yeah,
seriously, I know they
times.
just screw with you at that point. Like,
You
dude,
just
quit.
you see your Apple Watch and like, oh, my room's ready. Nope, it's not.
No. Yeah, I know.
What about when you check in at 1:30 in the morning, Mike? And apparently the water is not working in your building.
Oh my god, what are the chances of that?
That's so crazy.
44.1. Converting. Oh. Still 66. Not bad. I gotta turn off Amazing Race. They're eating these gigantic ostrich eggs.
Oh.
I mean,
you can stand on one and not break it.
Is that like an Animal Kingdom thing, or is that true?
Yeah,
They do say that. They do say that, yes. Especially those ones, because they're plastic.
Wah, wah. I was like, I thought they were real forever.
What? And you thought they were real, like in the same exact spot?
I did. I didn't know. I mean, an ostrich flies a big old egg.
I saw an ostrich take care of business though, and that was not pleasant on that safari.
My god, that would be
that was real.
Yeah, that's something I do not want to see.
That was not. That was where keeping it real went wrong right there. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to see that. 4,100.
Too funny.
All right, let's do it. Wait, hang on. I'm going to change this. Actually, I did the second one.
This is a dumb question. Do they still do like the sunset safari? Like, remember when that was like a thing, like years and years ago?
I know. Mike and I were on one.
I know we were. They're like, listen to the honey.
Honey badger.
The honey badger.
Like,
yeah,
I hear it. I was so excited that I was just at the media event. I was like, I hear it. I hear it. We were there with all these. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy. I was like, I can hear it.
But there wasn't a honey badger.
I don't think there was. I think it was the driver going.
There wasn't.
And the driver was irritated with us because we were being silly, because at those media events, they run you from morning
Yeah,
to
they do.
night. So we were joking about it. Of course, it had to be Honey Badger. He doesn't get
Because they give you all the drink. We were eating and drinking it up there in Harambe,
that
and then
was
they throw you on a
See,
Jeep.
I remember this. Like, remember Harambe nights too? Like I would love to see that stuff come back. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Hmm.
They don't have
Okay.
enough people for
Hang
any
on.
of this.
Hey, I guess so.
no,
No.
Harambe.
Harambe.
That was one of the most fun meals I ever had, though, because I was like, I felt like Jack on Titanic at that table. It was so fun. I was like, I'm with like all these like famous like people. Anyway, okay, so let's do this.
was that when you saw like the first version of Rivers of Light too? Like, was that?
Yes,
the
yeah,
thing
that
you-
was.
Joe
I
Rohde
sat
was
right
in
behind.
front of us. Yeah.
I sat right behind Joe Rohde's earring.
Yeah. Yep, you saw like a partial version of it.
I didn't see the show. I saw his ear.
Saw the need for surgery, perhaps. In
Oh
his
man,
future,
it
the ear
grossed me out
surgery.
because I'm not like a gauge person and all that stuff. Like I don't wear jewelry. Like that thing just
Yeah.
sagged. I was like, that thing has to hurt.
I know my mom actually just had to have that surgery to close up her earlobe.
Oh.
And she doesn't even wear like heavy earrings. It was just, eventually. I know. So, anyways, I was
Dude,
like,
that thing was
dang.
dragging.
I know. It was
And then
nowhere near.
and the usher
Joe's.
started dancing. I was like, what is going on with this thing? This is not good. It was the first
Liz,
show.
Liz just told me, well, dinner's ready. Like, I'm assuming you guys are still recording. I'm like, we haven't even started.
Okay, we gotta
the
get cracking. Here we go. Okay,
Here we go.
here we go. 2250.
See, when it comes to food, I can tell Mike, and he understands the urgency.
No, I get it. I get it. I don't want you to get in trouble. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 2250 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a great wrap to the week and hopefully your brackets are not busted yet. That'd be terrible because it's only the first round right now of March Madness. Now, by the time we talk next week, your bracket will probably be busted, but let's hang in there. Let's have a good time. Lots of basketball this weekend. Hopefully your alma mater or your school is doing well and having a good time and cutting down the nets here in about a month, but we'll see how that goes. But today we're going to be one of the few podcasts I can guarantee you in the Disney there's hundreds of Disney podcasts. 98% of them will put every attraction, restaurant, hotel in brackets and run them against each other. We're not doing that. We're just going to keep rolling on like we do. We're going to give some practical advice to make your next Disney vacation better. And we're going to talk about that today. So joining me today from up in Sparty Land, Lansing, Michigan, we have Scott. Scott, what's going on?
Hey, Mike, happy Friday. Now, not to like correct you or anything, but the tournament has not started yet. The conference tournaments are happening.
Oh, what am I thinking?
So
Yeah,
no
you're
one's
right.
bracket.
What am I
So
thinking?
no one's bracket should be busted yet.
I
If you-
am a week ahead of me. You're right. It's the SEC. It's conference tournament.
If your
this week.
bracket
Selection
busted, then
Sunday.
you just if your bracket busted, you just did a really poor job.
No,
because
you're right.
They haven't
That's-
started yet.
Yeah, so I'm just going to leave that in because I'm a Mizzou fan and I'm just getting ready for the pain that's going to happen in a week later.
See, as Michigan
Norfolk
State, I mean,
State.
this is going to be like year 24, 25 in a row we made the tournament, knock on wood. We're a lock to be in this year, but, so this is just business as usual for us. So we're just patiently waiting for the real tournament. But yeah, it's been a great week. I'm excited for the weekend. We'll have Selection Show Sunday, speaking of which, coming up, which is a national holiday for me. We'll probably be doing the live show right after the announcements of where Mizzou and Michigan State will be playing. I would love for us to play each other.
That'd be awesome.
So
That'd be
we'll find out
Make
soon.
it
I'm
happen.
excited for it.
Make it happen. Come on, NCAA. Make it happen. Little Mizzou Sparty. Let's go. That'd be awesome. Yeah. And I totally dropped the ball. I don't know what week it is anymore. Yeah, we haven't even played the SEC tournament. And you haven't played the Big Ten tournament. You know what it is? Because in St. Louis, they played the Arch Madness, which is the Missouri Valley Conference men's tournament, and they played the Atlantic 10. So they have played conference tournaments. That's why I'm all kinds of confused because the Billikens won the A10 conference.
That's the St. Louis team, right? St. Louis Billikens.
Yeah.
So we played them in the Michigan State's played them in the tournament before, and like they were a scary opponent one year. Like it took us down to the wire one year, and I was really nervous. But
and they have a scary looking mascot. I don't know what a Billiken is, but it's like a devil kind of looking thing. It's weird. And because it's St. Louis University, look it up. But yeah, it's one of those things like Can't we all just do our conference tournaments at the same time so I don't like mess up 2 different podcasts, like look like I don't know what's going on? I know what's going on. Anyway, I was at cheerleading all weekend. I'm discombobulated because of all the hairspray. If you're a cheer parent, you know what I'm talking about. And joining us as well, we have Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, it's Friday. Help me out. I'm a mess.
I don't even use hairspray, so I don't know about that. There's not much I can do about the hairspray situation. There's no hole in the ozone over my house.
No, it's in Schaumburg, Illinois still.
Schaumburg, yeah.
Pretty sure.
And happy Friday. Happy Friday. I know, we made it through.
So Jessica in our live Facebook group, as we're recording live here on the show, I'm super tired. Can you tell? It was a long weekend before we record this one. Wanted me to mention, we do have the podcast Facebook group for everybody sailing with us on the Disney Wish July 3rd to the 7th. We want everybody to get to know each other, and we're going to keep all the information there so you know what's happening with meetups and all kinds of stuff. So just go on Facebook and search Be Our Guest Podcast Cruise 6. And you will find it. We'll get you in there, and we're going to have some great conversation. And post all your memories if you've sailed many times. Get all the first timers jazz. Let them know, because you know a lot of folks, this is going to be their first Disney cruise, and they have questions. They don't know what they're getting into. And a lot of other cruisers have sailed Disney Cruise Line many times. So you know, don't spoil everything, but you know, get them jazzed. Get them excited. I posted a couple of videos and pictures to hopefully jazz things up. So can't wait. I'm excited. Not long now. It's like we're about a little bit over 100 days.
Yeah, 4 months.
Yep. All right. So we got to stay on land though today. So we're going to talk about those times when you're at Walt Disney World and your hotel room just isn't ready yet. And we've all been there, right? Now, here's the first question. And I think we've talked about this before, but I just want to bring this up. One of the things during online check-in that it asks, it doesn't ask you a lot of questions, but one of them that it always asks is, what is your anticipated arrival time? My flight could be landing at noon. I sound terrible. I'm just going to admit it, because if you don't do this, you're too good a person. My flight could be landing at noon, but it says, what time do you expect to get to your hotel? I'll put 9 o'clock in the morning because I want my room to be ready. Like, right. I mean, I won't put like, noon, because it's probably not gonna be, I don't think it matters. I don't know. I'd love to talk to somebody from Disney and how this logistically works out with all these requests and how this works. But Scott, are you with me on that? Like, when you do online check-in, do you bump it up a little bit to hopefully have a chance? I don't even know if it matters, but I think it might, maybe.
No, I typically stick with it because, Pam was talking about earlier, like she likes to take that first flight out of Pittsburgh. That's like 5 a.m. We take a 6 a.m. flight out of Michigan. So like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning is usually when I'm getting the property.
That's true.
So that's the time I'm normally putting, or I get in after midnight. And just let you know, there's not a time slot. I learned this firsthand for after midnight. If you're returning like the next day. So I've used midnight, and I usually use about 8 or 9 a.m. because that's about the time I really am arriving.
So what we're going to talk about though today is like, you get there, you say you have an early morning flight, you land, say you land 9, 10 in the morning, and you get to the hotel and they're like, your room's not quite ready. We're going to just say, for argument's sake, your room gets ready eventually like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, because it can be that late. I've even gotten a room late like 4 every once in a while, like a pop. But it's usually like my room's usually ready between like noon and 3, if it's not ready when I arrive. So that's what we'll talk about. But I just want to throw this out there because I'm curious about Scott. He had some weird circumstances, but what is it like when you do arrive in the middle of the night? Because you did check in, because like you checked in at like, you got to Pop Century like at 1:30 in the morning, right?
Right.
So
yep.
I've always wondered about that, because like, is it considered the night before, or is it considered the next day's morning? Like, how do they look at that? And like, how did you went direct to room? How'd that all go?
Yeah. So I did direct a room. So yeah. So it's going to be the night before, because you can't you can't start a new day at 1 a.m. with a hotel reservation. So say
it's like 6.
Say if I got there on Wednesday morning at 1:30, I have to book a room for Tuesday night, basically, so I can get into my room. So in a way, you're like wasting a night's room, but depending on your circumstances, if you get a better flight, or you want to save a PTO day, so you're going to work and then take a flight light out, like you do the math, right? And a night at Pop Century might be worth it for me to not burn a PTO day and just come in late so I can, shower, get ready for the next day, and not have to take a 5 a.m. flight. Because like either way, you're going to be tired somewhere. So, but if you're doing that, like book the night before, or else you won't, or else you're going to be homeless, as you say, Mike.
Right.
You're going to get to a resort at 1:30 in the morning, and you're not going to have a room till later that night as you're waiting for that magical text to get in. But it is strange checking in that early because there's no one around, right? Like, I mean, it's dark. Like for my circumstance, the last time I did this was at Pop Century, and that drive up, there's all those trees, and it's just dark. Like it's kind of creepy. Like going back to the back of the resort in the 90s, like it's dark, you can't see anything. It almost feels like a movie. Like you're just showing up at 1:30 in the morning. Like, oh boy, who's gonna be in my room? Like when I use my Magic Band. And luckily for us, our Magic Band did work, so I didn't have to go at the front desk and figure that out, because that's a whole nother nightmare, right? You show up at 2 a.m. almost, and you're tired, you just got off a plane, and then your Magic Band doesn't work. Can you imagine? Oh man, that'd be bad.
Yeah,
that would be bad. It's one of those things, like you just don't have. There's an energy to checking in like at 10 in the morning, especially like at a Pop, really any Disney hotel, but especially like at a Pop Century. I mean, but then again, you have the lines, because that's when everybody's. That's why I really like online check-in director room, because you can avoid all that if you're paid off before you go and stuff like that. But let's talk about strategy. So obviously the first thing you can do, and I think a lot of everybody listening to this show probably knows, is that if your room isn't ready, you have the option to take all your luggage. You're like, I carry a computer bag, like a backpack with my laptop and, my carry-ons and stuff like that, my Nintendo Switch, whatever I'm playing on the plane. And you can take that to Bell Services. They'll check that until your room is ready. And so then you can just go off and do whatever you want. You can go to the theme parks, you can go to Disney Springs. That's kind of that's obviously the first thing you can do. So that's what I would suggest is like the no-brainer. Drop your bag and go to a theme park. If you have if you decide to use a ticket that day. Now, some people don't get tickets for arrival day. Packages, you probably have a ticket on arrival day, but if you're not on a package, you don't. Maybe not. Pam, what did you say for arrival day? Let's get a little more creative, though, than that. That's the obvious choice.
I think there's so many choices. So one of the things that you can do, and it's something actually that we have done before, is we pack our bathing suits and have them ready in a bag so that when we get there, if our room's not ready, we're going to change into our suits and have all the stuff right there and go hang out by one of those awesome pools at the resort. And I think it's one of the things, like it's a way to sort of force yourself to enjoy one of the amenities that you have at a Disney resort. All of them, whether you're staying at a value or a deluxe resort, have a great pool area. And it's a good way to take advantage of that for sure.
Right. And another thing I was going to say too, is because you are entitled to, so the rules for Disney is that you're entitled to use the amenities of the resort from check-in day until midnight of your checkout day, which we'll get to on the back end of this. So take advantage of the pool, take advantage of all the amenities that your hotel has. And a lot of times, you get once your vacation starts to get going, and I consider like my my vacation to start like when I check in, like when I get the notification that I can go into my room, then it feels like, okay, vacation has started. My luggage is in my room. I've kind of set stuff up. I've got my chargers on the nightstand. I've got, the TV on, like I'm okay. Now I'm here. I've arrived. We're on vacation. But, if I could drop my bags off of Bell Services and just, have a day bag to go swimming, that's kind of like just bonus time almost. And this because I would imagine, Pam, that feels really good to kind of stretch out. You've been on an airplane, you've been traveling. You've probably, a lot of people, this time of year, have come from a cold climate. Now you're sitting poolside. Maybe you get a drink from the poolside bar. I mean, all of a sudden, boom, you've kind of mindset change right there.
Yeah, I agree. It's like your vacation has started, but it really and truly is. I mean, the second you step out onto that pool deck, I think you're really in vacation mode, don't you think? I mean, it's like you aren't. The thing I will caution people about is, and this is something that personally I've learned from experience, is don't be sitting around waiting for your room to be
that's,
ready.
That's painful, because then it's like a boiling pot of water. You're watching, never boils.
And you've lost opportunities. I mean, we're going to give you some more ideas on other things you can do, but I mean, there are so many better things you can be doing than waiting for your room. So,
what about you, Scott? Give some other ideas we got.
Well, Pam took my number one. Like that is a Gardner trademark, right? Like you pack your check baggage, but you have one carry-on that is like strictly swimsuits. You know, like you just have that bag that is your pool day. So I love that one, Pam. Get a little cocktail. But another thing I'm going to throw out there for those that rent cars, like we tend to do, we like to rent a car, and we like to get stuff for the room. Like we want to get like our bottled water, any kind of snacks or groceries if we're staying in a villa type room. So we like to do our grocery shopping before this happens. Now, the thing with this is kind of hard to time, right? Because you don't know when that room is going to become available. So some of the stuff you're buying might need to be refrigerated or looked over. But the good thing is Bell Services can help with that as well if you want to drop some of that off. But that's one of our big things is we'll get lunch off property. I know, shocker, right? Sometimes that happens, like pub subs, right, Mike? We've done the pub subs.
So good.
But just like, because that's time that is valuable to your vacation. You're going to have to do it eventually if you want those groceries. So why not do it to start the vacation? You get the rental car. Don't even go to Disney property first. Go get your groceries at a Target or Publix or Walmart, wherever you want to go. And then hopefully, you take your time, you get a little bit of lunch, and that gets you closer to that room assignment.
Yeah. And then, because again, that's time that you're using the time wisely on the front end of the trip when you do that shopping up front, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's going to be a time 3-4 days into the trip where I wish I had a Coke Zero in that mini fridge, or, you don't want to go down, say you're staying at Coronado Springs, you're in the Ranchos. It's not far to walk over to the main area, but I mean, it's like 11 o'clock at night and you wish you just had a Rice Krispie treat, like you just want something small and sweet. You don't need a whole cupcake, which if I don't have it, I'll go get like a big old cupcake, and I don't need that cupcake. I could just do a little half Rice Krispie treat and be good. I see a little sweet thing at the end of the night. Yeah. It's just fun to, have that stuff, some goldfish, something in the morning, a Pop-Tart. It's really saves. It's time well spent up front shopping.
Yeah. And for me, another reason I like to do it up front is like, and I think we all can kind of relate to this to some extent. Like when I'm on Disney property and I'm like checked into my room, like I kind of don't want to leave for a while, Mm-hmm. Like Mike, we just had to do that on this last trip. Like we had to go get a prescription at Walgreens, and it ended up taking us like an hour, it felt like, to just get off a property and come back. Like the traffic around that area, Bam knows this too from her most recent trip, it can take you an hour to go from like a hotel to a Target, So I just want to do that on the front end too. Like I don't even want to get to Walt Disney World property first. So go straight from the airport, find your local Target or whatever, and just take care of all that, and then get to property. And then you're going to be home, for the next few days.
No, I agree. And you bailed me out with that migraine medicine because I thought I could walk to that. The lady at Walgreens said, "Oh yeah, it's by Disney Springs." It was not by Disney Springs. It was far from Disney Springs. It would have been, I mean, you'd had to get a medal to walk to this place because it was at least 10K. I'm just saying. It was far. So anyway, okay. So other things you can do before. Let me ask you about this, Pam. So what about visiting Disney Springs on that first day? Because I always think, I don't know, maybe it's like a Midwestern mindset or just my mindset. I always think of like Disney Springs as like a wrap up type of thing. It's like an end of your trip thing, right? It's like you've done the theme parks, you've done the water parks, you've done, okay, Disney Springs.
Why is that a Midwestern thing though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know. Why? I don't know. Maybe I was thinking like you go to the shopping mall at the end. I don't know.
Okay.
You buy the souvenir. What it was. Here's what it was. Okay, here's why. I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but like we used to bring back, and we don't do this because we've gone so much, but when we used to go like once a year, we'd bring back like little souvenirs for like all the kids on the street, all Paige's little friends, all the kids that played with everybody, all the kids at daycare. We go to like World of Disney and we get like little lollipops, the big lollipops. We get something we could, get in bulk so we could give our kids something. But we do that at the end of the trip. Like, cause we'd look around the whole trip. We'd look like in the Emporium. We'd look at Mouse Gear, RIP. Yeah. We'd look, in all the stores, but then we'd always end up getting it at World of Disney anyway on the last day, or Goofy Candy Company or something. But,
the key to that though is like you can't do that strategy anymore though. You can't wait.
You got to get it when you see it now.
Exactly.
Get
it now.
Yeah. Yes. That is 100% the new rule. You see it and you want it, get it now. We used to always say that, right? Oh, just get it at the end. It'll be World of Disney has everything. No, if you see it and you want it, do not wait 5 minutes. Get it.
Especially if it's like a
now.
clothing item, like with the size, because like you're
Yes.
gonna go, you're like, oh, I've seen it in other stores, and then they're not gonna have the right
Yo.
size. Is what always happens.
The truth has not been more true than what Scott just said. If you see it on your trip and you want it, buy it. Don't wait. Don't even flinch. Just boom. And mobile checkout. It's the greatest thing ever. God, mobile checkout is so awesome. That is the great. But again, it's just still in that infancy stage. Like when mobile ordering was new, nobody knew how to do it or nobody did it. And you were like, it was like magic because you were the only one doing it. Mobile checkout's still kind of like that. It's pretty cool. Except at the expo, people were doing it. Well, Pam, what else though for upfront? Do you ever do Disney Springs early? Like check-in day?
Yeah, sometimes we do. One of the things that we do is if we get there and we're like, okay, room's not ready. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to head to Disney Springs. We're going to get a good meal. We're going to hang out for a little bit, walk around, enjoy the sun, do some of the shopping, go to some of our favorite stores. And we have favorite stores that are both Disney stores and other stores that are there. I think that they have some unique stores there that have good things, and different things are going to appeal to different people, but we almost always end up in Sugar Boo. I love that store. It's a home decor store. It has some of the cutest stuff though. It always gives me good ideas. We've bought stuff from there. I bought stuff and shipped it to my house. I've liked it so much. I have a huge piece in our family room that came from there that we bought and had shipped here. But anyways, it's just, I think stuff like that it's like vacation stuff. It's the stuff that we don't typically spend time doing that we can sit and really enjoy a meal or go to the lounge and hang out at Jock Lindsay's for a while, sit outside or grab something good to eat. I think it's a great way to sort of get the trip started.
Okay, so any other suggestions though for that time pre your room is ready? Does anybody have any other suggestions for that? We've talked about swimming, taking advantage of the amenities at the hotel, going to the theme parks after you drop off your bags, going to Disney Springs. What else?
Yeah, I would just say based on like what resort you're staying at, there's like good transportation. So like say you're staying at a monorail resort or at Epcot that has the friendship boats or the Skyliner, like maybe hop on like the resort transportation and just go for a spin, like this is if you don't have a park ticket. I mean, because if you have a park ticket, obviously you can hop in somewhere, and check it out for a little bit. But like, I just love the logistics and the transportation that's not necessarily a bus at Walt Disney World, like the boats and the Skyliner. So if there's something nearby your resort, maybe just go for a cruise on one of the Disney transportations.
Diane's saying the same thing right here in the live chat, the exact same time you were saying it. They guys like great minds here because it was like coming in at the exact same time. And I love this because what I'm thinking is, say I'm staying at Pop Century like I am in April for Spring Surprise. This would be a good time as I'm kind of waiting out my room to be ready to hop on the Skyliner and maybe go over to the Riviera and get some at Primo Piatto because I could, make sure I knock that off and maybe I, get lunch over there and then, just sit out, enjoy the atmosphere at the Riviera, have a sandwich. And then by the time I'm done with my sandwich, maybe walk over to Caribbean Beach. By the time my room could be ready, hop on the Skyliner, boom, back there.
But that. If you're me, your room will not be ready until 4:00. So
yeah, sure.
It seems to be
the next meal. Yeah. I'll just stay for the next one. Yeah.
Might have to have an old fashioned too, Mike, while you're waiting for that room.
I'm all about those. Yes, they're good. Okay. So, all right. So let me ask you this though, real quick, kind of as we transition. When your room is ready, when you get the text, not the fake text that I talked about on Wednesday. I hate that fake text that says, "Hey, welcome to Walt Disney World. Your room is not ready.
Quite ready yet."
Yeah. No kidding.
And the thing starts off like, "Thank you, valued guest." Like, come on. Like they're trying to like suck up to you, before they like give you the bad news.
Who came up with that idea at Disney to send that text? For real. Like, how does that get through? Every time I get the text.
And then you get it notified 3 different ways. You get it on My Disney Experience, you get the text, you get the email. Like, come on.
Yeah. Thanks.
From Disney. I just found it because I have it right here. Your room is being prepared. We appreciate your patience. That's the second one you get. The first one is, "Welcome. Your room is not ready at this time. Please enjoy the resort. We will send an update once it becomes available." Then the next update is literally, "Your room is still being prepared." What is happening?
It's like we're just getting you excited because it's not ready yet. Yeah.
We didn't want you to think that we forgot about you. We didn't forget about you. Yeah.
Oh, that
I
drives
think I
me
need to
nuts.
start
Okay.
bashing this on social media. Maybe us bringing it to existence right now. They're changing the policy.
Oh, let's
They're
make it
like
happen.
their templates right now are being worked and changed for future stuff.
I think I would. So I'll take one text, like at the time where I indicated I would be there.
Yeah,
That's a good point. That would be a good strategy
Yeah.
right there. Yeah. Yeah.
No
If I said I was
more
gonna be there at
though.
noon,
Yeah,
I
so
don't
Michael
want
just-
repeated texts
yeah.
throughout the day.
So Mike will
get
be just
mine,
getting
yeah.
in his car to drive to the airport when he gets
Yeah,
his.
that's
He
what I was
checks
gonna
in so
say.
early.
Right.
I'll be standing at the stanchions at the airport, like at A32,
But I don't
waiting to
think
get
they-
on the plane.
I think they like track your GPS because I don't think they send you anything until you're in the Orlando area. Or am I wrong on that? Because I've never gotten anything from home.
So Steve and I were actually playing around with this the last time we were there. We did not get things until we were in the Orlando area.
Mhm.
I feel like they are doing some GPS stuff there.
I
Now
think
we'll
so,
get
too.
people who are like they're absolutely not and whatever, and then we'll
Yeah.
get people who are mad at Mike because Mike requests his before he's going to be there. Then we'll get people who are like, I've gotten mine at home, whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever. I think the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, I did get my one about checkout though, because I had that room for when I was on for the AP.
Oh, yeah.
For one extra night, and it says, you can check out. I'm like, I'm sitting at my desk
Yes.
at home.
Already been done.
Because I came home a day early because I had to get
Check.
back. Yeah, so I'm checked out. Yeah, I'm
Right.
gone. Hope I didn't leave my socks. Okay, so but the question I was going to ask you guys though is, okay, so when you get that text, the real one, that your room is ready, and you actually get a number, that's when you know it's for real. You
And
get
a link
room
to the
number.
map.
Yeah, and a link to the map. Like, do you? Because I'm one that like I feel like this is just me. I feel like I got to get there. Like I got to see my room. They all look the same. I've seen all the Pop Century rooms. They're not like my room's gonna have like like balloons in it, or it's gonna be some obnoxious colors. No, it's gonna be the room I've seen every other time. Like I don't know why I get so excited, but I'm like, woohoo! I'm in the 50s. Yay! I got to go see my room. I like get excited to go to the hotel, even if I'm at the Magic Kingdom. I mean, Scott, do you feel that way, or do you just kind of roll on and then later on the day we'll get back there?
So I think it kind of depends on my trip, because if I'm doing like a lot of split stays, or like I'm in a room for 2 days and I'm checking out, then another 2, then another 2, I might not have that urgency to go to that room necessarily because I'm an unpacker. And Pam, I think you unpack even if it's just like one day. Like I'm still out of the suitcase if it's a short-term one. So like I don't have that urgency to like unpack. And as you said at the top of the show, Mike, that's kind of like when your vacation begins, right? When you finally get into your room. And I kind of feel the same way. So if it's like, I'm staying in the one resort and I'm just so anxious to unpack. So I'm ready to go. Like if I'm in line for the people mover or whatever, I'm getting out of line because the room is ready. Let's go.
That's how I kind of am too.
Because I just
get
want to
excited.
unpack. I just want to get settled into my resort because I think everyone knows here the resorts are my favorite thing. Like I love the resorts. That's my favorite thing in Walt Disney World. And I just want to get to the resort, unpack, crank up the AC, take a shower, do whatever. Just like that's when it feels like I can finally relax. I'm at home now.
No, I'm with you, but I don't unpack. I live out of a suitcase the whole time.
I don't know how you do it. I do not know how you do that.
I'm petrified. I'm going to leave something in a drawer. Like I do not use the drawers. I will hang stuff in the thing, the hangers.
It just feels homey having like your stuff like in drawers and hanging. We actually bring extra hangers with us too, so we can hang stuff. Like
I don't.
These words Mike's saying, I don't even know what.
I live in the suitcase. I'm scared definitely going to leave something behind. But
no.
Yeah, so I know you. So now, do you guys tend to like you get your number, like you're rolling back to check out your room immediately, or will you get it at 2:00 in the afternoon, not go back to your room till 8?
No. So I have really, really consciously chosen not to let the room ready time impact me, really. Because Steve, there would be times where I would be like frustrated with us because like we'd be like, well, maybe we should just hang out at the resort until our room's ready because of whatever or whatever. No, I make plans and I try to go about my day, and the room's going to be there when I'm done. We are packing cube people. I've been packing cube people for probably close to 20 years now. It takes us a very short period of time to unpack. I open up the suitcase, grab the packing cubes. Steve usually has one side of the dresser. I have another. We have plans for each one of the resorts for where other things go, what gets hung up, all this stuff. It doesn't take as much time to unpack at all. And I try to make it a point not to waste any of my vacation time waiting for my room to become available. That's just good. I try. I won't say I'm always successful, because sometimes if it was a long or exhausting travel day, I'm like, you know how your mood changes based on your patience at that point, and you're like, oh, screw everything. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to the room. Nobody talk to me for the next 20 minutes while I try to process what has just happened, and then we'll move on with our days. But it's so funny, because this subject actually came up on my house today. We had read this story about people whose flight got diverted because of severe weather issues, and then they were mad when they got to the new airport that it wasn't open for them to get a snack, and were complaining on social media. And I said to my husband, yeah, these are people who should probably just stay home, because the whole thing about travel is it's not ever going to happen the way you wanted to or the predicted to. But that's sort of the fun thing about
your
travel
adventure.
too.
Adventure.
If it's exactly the way that things are at home, why are you even bothering going there? It's just,
That's why in Spaceship Earth, they ask that question when you come down: are you more about the journey or the destination?
Yes.
I'm always about the journey. That's always fun, right?
100%. Like if the slightest disruption in your travel thing is going to throw you for a loop, you've got to get past that. And like, I really work hard to do that. I don't let anything impact my travel. Like, things can go completely off the rails, and I've really learned to laugh about it, because I'm like, this is going to be a good story. I'm telling you, this is going to be a good story. This moment we're living right now, we're going to look back on this and laugh.
That's right. Because you always get through it, right? And it's a story. That's what you got to. I've learned that in my older age. Like, you got to realize you're going to probably make it through this. And it's going to be hilarious later. Like, and right now, I
like how you said probably. There's still some probability.
I know there's times it's like 50-50 sometimes. I wonder at the time.
But the things that really do impact your vacation are your attitude about what has happened. That impacts your vacation way more than the fact that your room's not ready until, let's say, 4:35. I've been there. The fact that something in your room didn't work right. Like, Scott had a good story, but they took it in stride. I mean, it was like,
you had a good story too at Saratoga, but that humming noise or whatever, that was a good one.
Yes, we did. But I mean, that's the whole point of travel. Things aren't going to be exactly how they are at home. Thank goodness. And they probably aren't going to go as you planned, but you know what? You are going to have a good time and maybe a good story.
The stories are what makes it happen. I mean,
that's right.
The best.
That's right. Because you won't remember the normal days.
Like Mike remembers like the power washing that happened constantly outside Riverside a couple of marathon weekends ago. We traveled. Our room actually was ready early for once. Okay, like we actually got the text early. Mike and I were just going to go to the expo. Elizabeth was like, I just want to nap and relax in this room. Yeah. And what did they do? They power washed right on our floor for 2 straight hours.
I thought it was just your window.
That's what it sounded like. They were just focusing on that one spot in the window.
That one window must have been really dirty.
It was kind of like a live white noise machine.
Right. You just have to incorporate it into your sleeping. Like that
exactly.
It was wild, man, because it was loud. It was an industrial power washer.
I know. I love that we have team unpack and packing cubes happening.
Yes. Wade and Diane are definitely on your side there. Okay.
I know, because packing cubes are awesome.
I have to. Will Run for Podcast joining us here live on YouTube is recording, and he says he unpacks his toiletries, which I do that. I put all my stuff like on the rail at the the sinks. I do that, and all toiletries are out. Because I got my little toiletries back. That I do but I don't. I live everything else out of the suitcase. But I pack my suitcase like in sections.
I just can't understand that. But
okay, here's the other thing. I take out my hats because most rooms now have like a hat rack. So I'll put all my little hats on the different hooks. So I pick up my hat in the morning. Is today my black Disney Cruise Line hat, or is it my white Mickey Mouse head hat?
Maybe it's the difference between packing cubes and not packing cubes, because the unpacking is so much quicker with the packing cubes.
I'll have to try it. Okay, real quick though. Okay, let's get into post
All
This
right.
is the sad day, right? You got to go home. You're kicked out of your hotel. The travel, your
Wah.
trip's over.
Yeah.
You got to check out, but you got a later flight. Okay. So say you're flying out 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. So you're trying to maximize your time. You can still go to the theme parks. You can
Yeah.
leave your luggage with bell services again. That's a good thing to do. But I don't know, like this is me because Scott knows I was doing this the other day after Princess. You just don't have like a joy. You have like a melancholy feel because I was at the Magic Kingdom. I stayed that Sunday so we get our pictures, which was fun. You know, I got my ice cream because I'd run the half marathon that morning. So I had my ice cream from the plaza, you know, and I had lunch at Columbia Harbor House. So I did some fun stuff. I rode Pirates, but you just kind of feel melancholy no matter what because you know, like you can't go back to your room. So your mentality is a little bit different. I don't know. Like, what do you think about that last day, Scott, when you're in that situation where your stuff is no longer in your room? You don't have a place to stay. You're just kind of holding on, but you just kind of feel like you're kind of a second class citizen at that point. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm not fully there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're holding on, and you still have a few hours of vacation, so like,
Which is
gotta
sad.
be
I kinda
positive.
look-
Gotta enjoy it and live in that moment. So one thing we really like to do, it's kind of what Pam kicked off to start her vacation. We kind of like to end our vacation that way, especially this time of year. Like, I try to think, okay, here I am in Central Florida. What's one thing I can do right now that I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to do when I get home in a few hours? And that is swim
That's a good point.
outside to be at a pool. So depending on how much time we have, like if it's a noon flight versus a 5 o'clock flight, we might hop into a theme park or go to a resort and have like a nice breakfast or something. But we pack that day bag for swimsuits and like our airplane clothes that, you know, if you want to like switch to something more comfortable for your flight. And we go to a pool. We did this over marathon weekend. You know, we went in and we rode the train with you, Mike. We got our medal photos. You know, we had a big group with us. And then we just went back to Wilderness Lodge and had some Geyser Point and went swimming for a few hours. Like that was like a perfect way to pass that time before our flight home because we knew we wouldn't be able to swim in January back home in Michigan. So we tried to do like something really great to this moment that we're going to miss tomorrow or later tonight. And that's for us, it's usually swimming.
I think I'm going to take that though, because you know what, that kind of relaxes your body too. You know, if we're sitting on an airplane for a few hours, you know, plus you're sitting in the airport for like a couple hours before you even get on your plane after you go through TSA and stuff. And that's a great idea because I'm gonna try that next time. I like that. So Pam, what a suggestion you got for that time where you're kicked out of your room, but you still don't need to go to the airport yet?
So keeping with my theme of capitalizing on every moment, we try to not try to use that last day too. And I understand what you're saying about the melancholiness of it all, but I really try to like soak up every possible moment that I can and make like an intentional, like, here's what I want to do. So if I have to leave, like this last time we had to leave probably around, I don't know, let's say between 11 and 12 to be at the airport, right? So I planned a later breakfast at one of our favorite locations, which is Ale and Compass, which by
that's
the way,
what we did too, Pam, on our last day.
That's too funny. That breakfast pizza is back. It was gone for a while. It came back. Totally worth it. Steve got the blueberry and bacon pancakes, which are also check. Very good. The chocolate waffles are there. I mean, there's a lot of good choices at Ale and Compass. In fact, Mike, when you edit this, cut that part out because I don't want anyone to know about Ale and Compass. Stop.
It's just our nobody tell anybody else. It's just our little secret.
Pick a random breakfast place.
And you can get that buffet too, like with the fruit and pastries and all. I mean,
I know we didn't even look at it because I have my favorite and I have to stick with it. So
you're making it worse, Scott. Stop. You're just making it worse to get an ADR.
Right. No, make a rando ADR at someplace other than Ale and Compass. No, go enjoy.
Chef Mickey's is a great place to make
there you go. Yes. Do they still do boat rights? No, they don't. But somewhere else. Eat at your resort at the quick service station.
Shutters at Caribbean Beach.
There you go. Forever. So anyways,
don't even worry about an ADR. Just go to Caribbean Beach. You can walk right up.
There you go. Forget about Ale and Compass. No, but the other thing is too, if we're going to be there going home in the evening, we absolutely will make plans to go into the park, especially when the weather's fantastic. like it is here in the spring. You know, you can go into the park and really enjoy it, enjoy Flower and Garden or Festival of the Arts, whatever happens to be going on when you're there. And just really soak up every minute of it. I think one of the things that I've really miss about it is just being in the parks. When I'm at home, I think to myself, gosh, I don't even know that I necessarily think I want to be experiencing this attraction. What I think is I want to be in Epcot.
Yep.
I want to hear Epcot. I want to smell Epcot. I want to see it. Or I want to be in the Magic Kingdom. I want to hear it and smell it and see it. So all those things. So yeah, I try to be like a sponge and soak it all up until the very last minute.
That's a new T-shirt for me. That's the one I'm wearing on the podcast cruise, or like that summer. I'm gonna be like, I want to be Epcot. I want to smell Epcot. Feel Epcot.
There's certain times I don't want to smell Epcot. New Year's Eve, nah.
Especially when you're in the connections.
That's what I was gonna say. Mouse, the name has changed. The smell's the same.
Smell is the same.
There's another T-shirt idea.
Oh man,
yeah.
we're gonna be looking really classy over the podcast crew.
I know. Let's wear this to dinner every night.
Oh yes. No, but I mean, I think the point of this show is that it's really a mindset thing, is it not?
It is.
It's like you can sit there and wait for your room to be ready, but you could lose 3, 4, 5 hours on the front end, which those should be the most exciting times of your trip. I mean, you could be in a pool, you could be at a theme park, you could be having a good time. And also, I'm terrible about that. I said that, it's one of those things, like once I get out of my room, I just feel like, second class citizen. I need to get over that. I think the pool though would help. I think because that would be relaxing, and plus it would be, getting your body ready to be crunched up on an airplane for 3 hours.
I love the Epcot thing too. So Mike, we did an episode not that long ago about like your when we spin that wheel or whatever.
Oh yeah, the wheel.
One of the
we got to pull that
like,
back out. Yeah.
One of the things was like traditions or whatever. And a tradition for us, like not knowingly really, is like we always start at Epcot and we like to end at Epcot. There's something about the smell of Epcot, the feel of Epcot.
Yes, it's true.
No, but like, so World Showcase is my favorite area to be in all of Walt Disney World. And there's just something about like just slowly going through, and just checking out the pavilions, having a little snack or a drink while you're just trying to soak up those last minutes of vacation. I love what you said there, Pam, and that's really spot on.
It's true. It's the soaking up of the vacation. I try to sop up every moment of it. Take that piece of bread and soak up the gravy.
Like you're at homecoming.
Want it all.
Soak up the vacation. All right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for today, but let us know on social media. Did we leave anything out? What do you do on arrival day or on departure day to make the magic last just a little bit longer? I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. I'll retweet those things on Twitter. Let us know. And even more, this Sunday night, give us a call. Let's continue the discussion on the BOGP open line Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be waiting for your call. Don't forget, our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out today for all your Disney trip planning needs. We can't help you with getting your room early. We try, but we do what we can. But we can get you a great deal on a Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. And on top of that, we work super hard just to make sure each and every one of our guests has the most magical time. It's not always about getting the best deal. We want to make sure you get the best financial deal, but we know that these trips are few and far between. They're the best times of our lives. We want to make sure that you are set up for success. And then when you get there, you're going to have a great time with those you love. You're going to make memories that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. So we want to make sure you have a great time. We want to, that's kind of our goal with each and every trip. We want to do that for you today. So just swing by the website, themagicforless.com, fill out that free no obligation quote form. We'll take care of you from there. We'll build that relationship. We'll have a great time planning that trip. It's not just about when you get there. It's fun from the time you start planning too. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. You guys make all these shows possible. Thank you so much for that. And our patrons get that bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us, we'd sure love to have you. Come on over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give Scott a follow on the social media at EpScott, EPSCOT. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike, Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to talk to you this week. And of course, we're waiting for your call on Sunday night for the BOGP open line. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on the weekend. Whatever you're doing, hope you have a great one and have some fun this weekend. So you guys get out there and have a good time. So stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. That was good.
Boom.
All
That was
righty.
a good one, actually.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do some of those, kind of like tip shows.
I like that one.
I liked it too.
Cool. All right, so we'll do it again next week.
All right, see y'all.
All right,
have a
chicken
good
stir
one.
fry time.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, rocking on. All right, see you guys.
Bye.